Hello and welcome back to my channel, Kenneth Allen Barker, where I talk about technology, movies and TV, and other random stuff that just pops into my head. Today I'm going to talk about WandaVision, mostly episode 4, but I am going to recap kind of the previous episodes because my original video of episode 1 and 2, the audio wasn't quite right, so I never posted it. But we're going to talk about WandaVision, episode 4, where I think it's actually starting to get good. Not that I didn't like the earlier episodes, but I was already getting a little tired of the way that they were presenting the show. You've probably been watching it. You're just watching this for another review, but if you haven't been, the way WandaVision is working is they're set up in an alternate reality or something like that. We don't really know what's going on, but it's originally set in like the 1950s as a sitcom, an old TV show like I Love Lucy, The Honeymooners, maybe Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, because she has powers in that. So a lot of stuff that she was doing with her powers about making dishes in that float and making things appear in that, kind of like an homage or imitating how they did it with the I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched kind of TV show. And the way they even did that, again, as those shows, made it a little more magical than what her powers are. Yeah, she can move things around in that, but you didn't see the glow of her hand. And she was putting things back together, like dishes that broke, a wall later on, opening and closing things. But that was more what I would consider magic effects than what I normally think of as her powers, or at least what they've ever showed of her powers. Like putting a dish back together like it had never broken before. I don't really think that's her normal powers. Like she can move the pieces around, but making it, again, like it was brand new, was a little different. But fine. It was cute. It was nice, especially if you're familiar with those older TV shows. I think a lot of younger people who were watching the show, maybe doing other reviews, don't really have much knowledge of the older TV shows. So they were totally confused about what was going on. And as the episodes progressed, they moved from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s TV show format. The 70s got to have color, which was nice. Again, the original black and white episodes was nice at first. Hey, that's neat. But actually, I was getting a little tired of it by the second episode, so I'm glad they switched into color there at the end. And as for not really knowing what was going on, her and Vision are living a normal suburban life, essentially, except for them being superpowered beings. And they kind of work that into the storyline, hiding their powers, but still using them to move things along. But when things would happen that Wanda didn't like, you notice that she was changing them. People would say something that she didn't like, or she would see something that she didn't like, perhaps reminding her of real life. She would use her powers to change it. Or at least you were given that impression early on. The fourth episode, they do actually make that clear. But at first, you're not really sure whether it's her or maybe it's someone else who's controlling the story, because we don't know what's happening with, what's happening, period. My early theories were that she was kind of being interrogated, some kind of mind control, trying to see what, some kind of information from her or something like that. In the second episode, I think, you hear someone talk to her through the radio, asking her, who's doing this to you? So again, that's another hint that, maybe she's under some kind of control. But as especially the third episode gets going toward the end, you realize, at least I did, that she is at least in somewhat control. If she's not in total control, she's in control, because a couple people say things that she doesn't like, and she essentially like edits that out of what happened, and you kind of go back to before they said it, just as if someone was editing a movie clip and something gets said, cut it out, move back. So sometimes it would almost look like there was a cut in the scene. She saw a couple things, like there was a person wearing a bee suit and had a logo on the back of the suit, and she was just like, no. And then and at the very end, Vision started to realize that something's not quite right. Maybe they're being manipulated. They're part of this TV show thing. And as he's starting to say that, again, she didn't want him to realize, or she didn't like to hear that. So she changed the situation. Vision kind of looked like almost maybe he rewound a little bit. Or again, if a movie clip was cut, and then he'd be like, oh, we're having a great life here. Almost like it never really happened. So now I'm going to start playing episode 4 and putting some commentary on that. And that will kind of bring us up to date on where we are. Okay, and this girl was just thrown out of the bubble that existed in their universe where everything's happening. And it looks like she is coming back together from the snap. And so are a lot of other people inside a hospital. So they're either going back in time to right after the snap, or she's just starting to remember herself at that time. And now they're coming back, I guess, to present day, where she's a member of an organization, kind of like S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess. Okay. Someone we recognize, someone we like. And he's showing off a little bit of magic that he learned from Ant-Man. None of them have ever heard of him. How did they get a report of a missing person if no one had ever heard of them? That they have a sign for? They have a feeling that they're not supposed to go inside. And a drone they just sent through disappeared. Don't touch it. Captain Rambo. Good name. Soup. Goodbye. And somebody else we recognize. And somebody else we like. I've been hoping she'd be in like each Thor movie as it came on. Especially the Love and Thunder that's going to be out in a year or so. And she's a full-fledged doctor now. And she probably lets people know about it, as she kind of just did there. Probably doesn't like to be called just Miss. When I wonder if she was acting, I don't want to say dumb, but in the original Thor movie, she didn't come off as the most intelligent person of the group. Always thought she was pretty good, but wonder if she just acts that way. And she's still just as, I'm going to say funny. I got it. Thanks for helping. And she's picking up TV signals, which is strange. Because even though we have been seeing the TV show, I didn't really think it was being broadcast. I thought it was more of a mental thing we were just seeing. And now they're sending someone in like a radiation or some other kind of suit. Someone's got a TV show on. Your goons. And now they have TV. Not the universe. Somebody. And so she's the one they showed in one of the episodes, watching them. Which, of course, before you knew what was going on, you thought maybe it was an evil person, the person who is actually manipulating the whole situation. But now we find out it's just her. And here's where they hear the radio voice in the second episode. And now we know who it was talking to them, trying to reach out to her. And again, she kind of doesn't like hearing that, so she makes it go away. And now the guy in the radiation suit or whatever is now inside the bubble. And the cable that was connecting him got turned into an old style, really old style jump rope that kids would use. And he gets turned into the beekeeper who came out of the sewer system. So he got integrated into the situation as well. And again, she makes it go away. And again, the girl had some kind of a memory, because it seems like people don't know necessarily what's really going on themselves. But she kind of remembered Ultron and her brother, and she said it, and now she's not happy. And she zaps her through the wall. And now she looks surprised, kind of like, what's going on with my powers? Almost like she didn't really remember she had them for a second there. At least not like that. And now Vision comes in. And this is the point where he kind of is starting to realize things aren't quite right something's going on. And Vision's dead. And of course, she doesn't like that. And she's intent on staying there. And she now knows that it's all Wanda. And now Vision has a little look in his eye like he's a little afraid of her or afraid of the situation. Because again, he kind of has some idea that something's going wrong or something's going on. Maybe he knows exactly what is happening. And he doesn't want to upset her. So he has a little look on his face there that I better keep my mouth shut for a moment. And then they do their normal good night, sitting on the couch watching some TV. And that is it for episode 4 of WandaVision. As I mentioned earlier in the show, that will bring us up to date. And we kind of know what's going on now. Wanda is completely in control of an alternate reality of her own that she's created, at least in a certain part of New Jersey, that no one else can come in or leave the area, except for her pushing them out. And she probably just doesn't want to live a life without Vision. She's pretending they have a normal life, married, now with kids. And whenever something comes up that she doesn't like, she edits it out of the situation. And either everybody forgets, or if they do remember, they know not to bring it up again. So we'll kind of see what happens after this. Some previews kind of show them fighting people. Again, even like protecting their home, as she just said at the end of that episode. So I think they're going to be fighting the agents who are trying to help them, because she doesn't want to leave this little imaginary world that she has. Almost like some of the stuff they did in Star Trek The Next Generation, where a couple different episodes they spent time in the holodeck because people wanted to kind of get away from reality, which would be nice sometimes. Definitely thought about it myself. But I definitely think it's getting, again, I'm going to say good or better now, because I didn't really like the old TV stuff too much. It was nice, but I got tired of it. I definitely wanted some action. You know, they're the Avengers. I want to see some fighting. I want to see color. I want to see modern day stuff. Even if it was taking place in modern day, I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But now we're there, and people are figuring out what's going on, and there's going to be some communication and some fighting, it looks like, coming up soon. So next 2 episodes look like they're getting really good. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed my commentary. Please share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.